Hi again. Bit of a strange one, been a year with no videos, and you're getting two in 2 days. I'll probably never do another one for another year, but enjoy it while you can. I thought I would. I'm playing a World Championship this week. I've not really been playing this for ages, but under this new account with not many stats, I thought I'd have a go at the World Championship. Nothing too serious, so I'm not worried about it glitching and jumping about a bit when the video's recording, which often happens. I've played a few this week. Currently 14 played, 11 top 3 and 6 wins, which for my stats 1800 is okay. Do a lot better under my other account, but I find it quite stressful because I really want to win. But this one's just a bit of a laugh, and it's the last one of the week. I've got 6 tickets left. I'll not use them all, but the last one is Safari, and I thought it would be an interesting one because Safari is always fun to watch. It's a very tricky course. I've not got many stats, so I don't have a great deal of distance, but this is only 2T, so I can reach all of the greens that the big stat guys can, I think. I've not done any practice. There's a couple of holes where I'll probably have some disasters, so it'll be fun to watch. But again, I'm not really expecting too much, and it should be a fun watch. Let's see how we get on. I'll just play my shot, and we'll probably get a bit of time to talk at the end of each hole. Now with this one, unless I've got a following wind, I believe I'm not going to make it with a 3-wood, which would clear the trees and potentially land on the green. So I'm going to basically miss the green entirely, go over the back of the green, and I'll have a semi-easy chip. Unlikely to go in, but I should put it pretty close. Got to be careful here. If I hit it too short with a 1-wood, it's a lot lower trajectory than a 3-wood, and it can quite easily clip a tree, end up in the water, and it can be round over. So for that reason, I'm not trying to hold the green. I'm just going to go over the back of it for hopefully a safe birdie. Let's see what happens. Perfect shot's always good. And oh, I did exactly what I didn't want to do, round over. So here's a different challenge. Let's see if I can pull it back from here. See how the others get on. It's actually not put us in too bad a position, I don't think. So I think I can make it over here. On the fairway, so hopefully I can get enough loft to get over that little bush. Otherwise, again, could be disaster. Let's see. That's actually, with a bit of luck, I can scramble a very lucky par here. So in the videos I've been doing, I haven't been using guides. I'm going to use them here. I'm going to need them. So as you can see how it works, you line up your shot, you press the button where you think it's going to, it'll show you where, well, you press your button with your line up, the guide button, and then it shows you where the ball will go, so you can adjust from there. I'm not going to adjust this at all. I'm going to hit it slightly softer than the line, hopefully, and that should go in for a very lucky par. So perhaps not round over. I might have a chance of a podium. The good thing about this course is it is so tricky. There's so many obstacles. You'll see that other players you'll probably see some disasters worse than the one I've just had. Let's see. We've already got one bogey on there. There's a +2 there. A few pars. Only a couple of birdies and 1 eagle. So this guy Theo Can off to a great start. Lots of work to do, but only 1 shot away from second place, so by no means over yet. That'll come soon. Okay. I'm basically going to hit this exactly full. It looks like it's way behind that little bit of fairway, but with the elevation, it's going to actually pitch well past that point, and all being well, roll nicely onto that little round bit of fairway. Let's see. There we go. That's pretty much the ideal position. Any closer to the trees than that, and you run the risk of clipping them with the high shot, which I'm going to play next. Okay, I'm probably about there with the wind. too hard can leave you right over the back of the green, which is not what I want. That's about right. Took the pace off it in the rough and leaves me an eagle chance. So that lineup looks pretty good. I'll just adjust it to the right a little bit. You'll notice me using guides all the time. To be honest, at this course, you'd be mad not to. The greens are all over the place. Unless you've got a 2-yard putt or less, 2 foot or less, you're going to be using the guides. Should be okay. And there she goes. So that'll probably get me a few places, I would have thought. You tend to see some pretty big disasters on this hole, especially if you miss that first little bit of fairway. It can really cause trouble. Let's see what this guy does. This guy's gonna, that's about perfect. I'm assuming that's the leader. Yeah, Theo Khan. Italia Golf, good guild, a lot of good players. A couple of eagles and a few birdies. Well, one of the eagles is mine. So that should push me up into certainly the top 4. Possibly up to a podium position. Let's see what happens. So there you saw an example of what happens if you hit it just a little bit too hard. You're going off the back into the rough. Very tricky to get anything other than a par from here. He's already played 3 shots. This is his 4th. If you are playing World Championship, you can tap the icon top left. It'll show you who's playing and what they've done so far this week. I imagine this guy at the top is doing quite well. There he is. So he's played 20. This will be his 21st. Top 3 16 times and 9 wins. So pretty good. The others, there's a few who've played a few, but there's only actually 1 other win between them, 2 other wins between them, other than me. So looking at that pedigree, you'd imagine I should be finishing up on the podium, but anything can happen at Safari. So the 3rd hole is a very tricky one. It's got a massive big bank at the front of the green and it slopes right away from you. The only way you're ever going to hold the green is to pitch the ball in front and hope it just catches that top of the bank and just rolls gently down somewhere near the pin. We'll see. I'm going to play a perfect shot here. Oh, you've seen another deliberate mistake. That was supposed to be a low shot. I've found that with a low shot that does get me pretty close. Obviously I'll blame it on doing the video. I should have selected a low shot there, which actually would normally got me pretty close to the pin, maybe even on the green, honestly. But I've left myself in a bad position here now. Coming out with a heavy rough. The only chance I've got is to clip this bank here, roll down, but this is probably going to be a par now, this hole, if I'm lucky. Let's see what I can get away with. Although ordinarily I wouldn't hit it as hard as this, because of this hill in front of us and the fact that a rough shot is going to fly quite low, I'm conscious that I don't want to leave it at the top of the hill. If I leave it at the top of the hill, I've got a potential disaster on my hands. This is the joy of playing Safari. I'm going to try, I might use one of these drinks. I very rarely use them, but why not? I'm going to hit it a bit harder than I originally guessed, because again, I'd much rather be off the green at the back than missing it to the front. Let's see what happens. Stop, 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 stop. On the green, so a chance of a birdie. This could be a get out of jail if I can do this. Not too bad a putt. You'll notice with an uphill putt, the guide suggests you hit it really hard. That's normally okay, but if I hit it as hard as it's suggesting there, you'll probably find the ball will roll over. It's a bit of a glitch in guides, which you'll come across. So I'm actually going to use a bit more brake and hit it a little bit softer than the guide suggests. That should, I don't want too much off it, but that should be about right. There's nothing worse than getting it bang on line and just watching the ball bobble over the hole, which you may well see. I'll see if I can avoid it though. That's nice. Okay. So an eagle would have been nice. A par's okay. Let's see what the top guy's managed. Yeah, just a birdie. A couple of pars in front of me, which will take me up to certainly joint second. See how his points are. I did use a perfect drink there. Bit of a waste because I played the wrong shot, but never mind. There's an example of a rollover putt. It's bang on line. Would normally drop. When the ball's on an incline like that, when the hole's on an incline, you see that quite a lot. Anything slightly too hard, and it'll roll over. There's a post on the forums that's been there for about 2 or 3 years, complaining about it, but nothing's ever been changed, so I don't suppose it ever will. So you need to factor that in. There's a couple of holes. The 8th at Rolling Hills is notorious for it. You get it here quite a lot. Anywhere where you get really heavy slopes on the green. So there I am, 10 points off second place, so I'm not going to be overhauling his points total. I'll have to see if I can overhaul his score. It's a bit of a crazy golf course this. You can't even see the hole. Only shot you've got is a draw, high draw. We've got 4-yard wind in our face, and a massive drop to the green, so lots to take into account. I know from previous experience that drop relates to around about 35-40 yards back from the hole, so that would leave me around about here, but with a 4-yard wind in my face, I'm going to take it up a little bit further than that. You'll notice, although the 4-yard wind is very strong, it's pushing over to the right. I've not gone way over the left hand side here. Reason number 1 is I'm going to hit this. Reason number 2 is when the wind's in your face like that, it will cause the ball to come over to the left a little bit. It's entirely possible I'll get this all wrong, but let's see what happens. I'm thinking round about there. Not a great deal of science involved in this. I'm just hitting it and hoping, really. Not enough practice in the 4-yard winds. Let's see what happens. Too hard, way too hard. I'm not sure I actually chose a high draw there. Again, distracted. I'll put it down as distraction from doing the video. Should have been a high draw, but it certainly didn't fly like one, so I'm pretty sure I selected a standard draw shot. It's giving me a rough shot, which I'm going to take. Sometimes I would change that to a chip shot if I've got a close in chip out the rough, but you have to overhit it quite a lot, and it does make life quite tricky. So now I've got a slope away from me going down towards the pin. Ordinarily out the rough I would go quite a way past it, but I'm going to try and leave it a bit short and let it roll down. Having said that, you've got another situation with the hill in front of the green. I'm running out of time, sorry, didn't keep an eye on the clock, so I better play my shot way too hard now. So that's actually not too bad. That's better than it would have been if I hit it where I meant to. So I got away with a par. Pretty poor approach. I'll probably lose in my 3rd position there now. Let's see what's happening. I'm sure some other players would have struggled there. Our top guy seems to be a bit of a safari expert, so I think we're going to write off 1st place, barring disasters for him. But you never know. Again, you can get 3-4 shot turnarounds on this course. Looks like what we're about to experience here is you get pauses in between holes in the World Championship and in Goodwill games, and it has you tearing your hair out a lot of the time. But another joyous feature of Golfstar. Okay, right, this one is a draw, and what I'm aiming for is just to catch the fairway here and the ball to roll towards the pin. If you get it too far, if it pitches here, it's going off the back. If it pitches here, it's going to kick off and end up round about here. So it needs to be pretty much bang on. And I'm guessing, and it's still a bit of a guess, around about there, possibly a bit further in, should do us. Only one way to find out. Let's do it. Hang on, I'm just going to make sure I did actually select draw this time. I did. Hit the perfect shot, good for points. But is the shot good for an eagle? It's given us a chance. Not bad at all. Even this range, and even with guides, sometimes these are tricky. I would ordinarily just pop this in without a guide, but I've got plenty of them. You accumulate them. I've never actually bought guides under this character. You accumulate them, and I've got the 3-pouch guides, so I very rarely use the ones that I accumulate, and they just tend to get more and more. So when it comes to having a week on the World Championship, I've got plenty of them to play with. That's a little bit soft, but I think we should just about be okay. Yeah, so a nice eagle there. That could potentially get me up a couple of places. Let's see how the others have done. Well, not a couple of places, certainly one place is possible. I think that guy, Daddy Loaf, yeah, he was the one ahead of us. So he's just taken a birdie, which puts me back on level points with him, level score with him, but he'll be ahead of me on points. So, not bad, but could have been a lot better. Note to self, concentrate and make sure you've selected the right shot type before playing. This guy Users not doing so well. This will be for a double bogey, which will put him 5 over par. The rest of the field actually doing pretty well. You do see some interesting scorecards at Safari normally. Looks like we've got another one of these pauses in between the holes. What I might do, you might not even hear this because I might just cut them out from the video afterwards. Not much fun you just watching that front wheel of a Jeep for 5 minutes, which can sometimes happen. So the 6th, this is quite an easy hole if you've got a lot of stats, which I suspect this guy at the top, Theo Khan, has. When you're short on stats, like I am, you've got to take a bit of a risk, which I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is play a low shot. This is a heavy, steep hill, which then rolls away. What I'm going to do is play a low shot with a 3-wood and hopefully end up around about here, which will give me a route through the trees, albeit with a very severe right to left lie. Let's just see. So I'll remember to select low shot, otherwise we would have another disaster. I'm going to hit it around about there and a lot of hope for the best. You will see that contact wasn't particularly good. I could quite comfortably finish off the fairway to the right here, which I don't want to do. That's okay. So you'll see a great example here, right 10, bottom right of the lie of the ball. So if I try and hit it there, it's probably going to miss that tree to the right and end up over in the water there or something. So what I'm going to do is come back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10 because it's 200 odd yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The wind's also going to push it that way a bit, so I'm going to go around about there, which looks way off, but you should hopefully see. I'm just hoping actually I'm not going to hit that tree. I'm going to come a little bit more over, so I'm going to end up left of the pin as I see it, but that's for good reason. It's very easy to get a disaster here, so let's just see what happens. And because of that lie, I'm going to take a big perfect shot. I'm just going to hit this max actually. Let's see what happens. I've missed the tree, which I was a bit worried about. I'm hitting the green. I'm going to have a long, probably virtually impossible putt. You've got to put it pretty close on this green. Let's see what sort of putt it gives me. Actually, it may not be too bad. It does break both ways, which is easier, believe it or not, than one big break one way, because sometimes if you've got one big break on a fast downhill putt like this, it's just impossible to judge. This way at least it'll stop and come back in. I've got to hit it way softer. I'm going to use a guide. I could chip it and put it dead, guarantee a birdie, but there's a chance if I use a guide here that I'm going to get an eagle. Let's just see if I can line it up. That's way off. So my lineup is very bad. On a double breaker like this, it's very unlikely. Well, you've got to be spot on really to get it, but I'm going to give it a go. Let's just see. I think I'm around about there at a very rough guess. See what happens. A birdie's not a bad result on here. An eagle would be better, but as you can see, not quite. Fairly happy with my stats to get away with a birdie on this hole, to be honest. As you've seen, it's far from straightforward. Okay, so see how this guy ahead of me done this Fioc. Oh, there's even a birdie from the top guy, and bogey from the guy above us, which has moved me up into second place, and I'm only 2 off the lead still. Running out of holes where disasters can happen, but the next one is most certainly one of them. You'll see what I mean when it loads. If you haven't already seen it, you're basically presented by a tree right in front of you. So you've got the choice of going round it and having quite a tricky birdie, or finding a way through it and having a chance at an eagle. I say a chance because depending on where you leave the ball, there's some potential impossible putts you'll get after that as well. So a birdie's normally a pretty good result here. An eagle is fantastic and could cause a massive turnaround. So obviously that's what I'm hoping for, but so is the guy in front and the guy behind. So interesting hole this. Depending on the tee, you've got various different shots you can play. That win there is pretty much guaranteed. I'm not going to get an eagle. I would be surprised if anybody does. However, I do know that if I play a punch shot around about this line, that I'm going to make it through that very small gap that you can see around about where my arrow is there. There is a massive element of risk here. I'm probably going to end up down here somewhere, which is not a bad result, to be honest. So, well, when I say probably, if I manage to get through this hole in the tree, that's where I'm going to end up. Let's see what happens. I'm going with a 2-wood. Okay, hold on to your hats. Here we go. I'm playing perfect because any slight undulation from my desired line could result in disaster, but I've made it through. So that's stage 1 complete. I'm never going to hold the green here, but that's pretty much the best result I could hope for. As you can see, the top guy's done exactly the same thing. With that 4-yard wind, virtually impossible to do anything other than what I've just done. So there's the top guy there. Just put it dead for a birdie. That's my aim here as well. 4 foot uphill with a massive slope back towards me. So I'm going to way over hit this. Put it around about there. So I'm going to come past the hole about that much. Chance of it going in minimal, but hopefully it'll leave me a fairly straightforward birdie. Again, a nice perfect shot. Should have hit it way harder than that. Very hard to judge these when you've got the uphill lie plus the green sloping down towards you as heavily as it is. It's not straightforward at all. So I'm basically going to hit this. I'm not using the guide, so I don't regret that. Nearly did, but it went in. Very little break on that putt, but you saw it did move over quite heavily to the right at the end. Safari, Rolling Hills, Copper would be the 3 that have very fast greens. So a break which you normally move a couple of dots to the right for on, somewhere like Interlaken or Sequoia. So one of these, actually Sequoia's got slightly quicker greens, I think. Somewhere like here, you're going to kind of double the amount of break you're taking sometimes, especially on downhill putts. They're very, very difficult. Worst case scenario on this course, you can leave yourself some really impossible putts, which I think this guy might just have. Yeah, this guy's got a downhill putt which is essentially impossible. Look where this ends up. Oh, sorry, that was an uphill putt. I totally misjudged where he was, but as you can see, he's not quite got that putt right, and he's coming back to where he started. It'll be interesting to see what he does next time. He's only got 2 seconds left, so he's not going to have the chance. So he's going to time out, and he's now down to 8 over par. Harsh punishment, this course. So I'm fairly pleased with where I am now. Still time for everything to go wrong, but I think a second position is probably about what I deserve. Let's see. Right, so with this one, you'll see that massive drop. I don't know if you can get an idea of how big that drop is. It's obviously 277 yards. You could sit and work it out, or if you've been in the practice fields, you'll know, as I do, and you don't play sky shot, you'll know as I do that basically a full flop shot is going to get you pretty close. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a full flop. Cross my fingers it's not too hard. I seem to remember with a headwind I'm not going to go over the back, but I wouldn't trust my memory too much. No, that's comfortable. You see I didn't actually have enough, but there's no way I'd choose any shot other than the flop here, because of the chances of holding it with a medium power sand wedge is virtually nothing. Right, so again, a lot of front to back, or back to front slope, sorry. I've got the line up pretty much spot on, but if I hit it that hard, there's a great chance it's going to go over the hole. So again, what I'm going to do is take a bit more for the break, and I'm going to hit it a bit softer. Maybe thereabouts. I think that should do it. So I'm going to hit it on the line just before the blue one. That's my aim anyway. That's what I did. So I didn't take too much for the break. Now that's okay. So again, you can see, probably see some disasters. Most holes here, you will see some people having a nightmare. You almost saw me do the same. Got away with a par on the first hole, but been fairly solid ever since. A couple of little mistakes. Could, in theory, have been challenging for the lead, I suppose. But again, I'm perfectly happy with what I've got at the moment. So barring disasters, which isn't really going to happen, this guy at the top is going to take it with probably -11, -12. You can eagle this one. I've not done enough practice on this with a sky shot. To be honest, I've only got a level 2 sky shot, and this next hole is, well, there's a few ways you can approach it, but the easiest way, especially in a headwind, is with a sky shot. Unfortunately, I'm only level 2 with it, and as such, I've not even bothered to do any practice, so I've got really no idea of my yardage. So I'll have a look at the situation, have a look at the wind before deciding what type of shot to play. Okay, so I've got a 4-yard right to left. That is daunting to say the least. What I'm going to try here, I'm going to think probably, first thing I'm going to do a sky shot. You'll notice me adjusting a huge amount for the wind because it's in the air for so long. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to adjust about 20 yards to the right, possibly a bit more actually. So I'm going to really aim about here. That might still not be enough. Because I've only got a level 2 sky shot, it doesn't kind of travel quite as high, so I don't need to worry so much about it. But basically thereabouts is going to get me over that rock. You can go through the rock. In fact, it's sometimes a good shot to try and hit it about here, which takes all the pace off it and bounce through. That's what I was talking about, crazy golf. However, this is going to go over the back of the green, but hopefully hold on the fairway and not go in that rough. But I'm not sure what's going to happen here. So I'm getting over it, I think. Touch wood. Yep. Is it going to hold on the fairway? Just, which gives me a chance of a chip in. A lot of distance between me and the hole, so I need to be lucky. You'll see it's, if I had a flat lie, it would just be a case of whacking it straight at the hole. Because it's going 4 to the left, I'm going to adjust probably something like that. The wind will, because it's a 4-yard wind, it will affect it a bit, so I'm going to come back a little bit. I'm going to go past the hole about there. Not a great deal of chance of this going in, but you never know. Not hard enough, I don't think. No, and a little bit offline, but within 0.9 yards for a safe tap-in birdie, which should secure my 2nd place on the podium. Let's have a look at what everybody else is doing, see if we can see something fun going on. There's a guy who's ended up not quite where he wanted to be. It'd be interesting to see what shot he plays. Anything with loft is going to hit that rock above his head. To be honest, I'd probably play a long putter here. It's the only way that you'll actually get under there. It'd probably stick in the rough, but let's see. No, I think he probably tried to play maybe I'm not sure, a punch shot out of the rough, but whatever it was, even though he chose a perfect shot, it didn't come off. Now this guy was in 3rd. There's a good chance he might end up dropping down a place or two here. He's on the green. This will be an easy enough putt, really. So he's gonna get a double bogey, which will put him down to 3 under. So he's still going to take 3rd, or possibly this guy Daddy Loaf, depending on his points. He had quite high points, didn't he? So this might cost him 3rd place. Let's see what happens. Looks like a solid enough putt. Yeah, I'll give him a clap. Let's see what happens. Looking at that, that's not the final positions. that'll come up here. This guy Daddy Love did just pip him. In fact, you notice the points there, 158. So these guys have got joint third. So you would get the prize for third. Both of them they wouldn't share it, they wouldn't split it. They would each get the full third place prize. So not a bad result. I had a bit of hope of winning and could well have done with a bit more practice on that last hole, and potentially if I'd concentrated a bit better earlier on. But beggars can't be choosers. Second place at Safari with 1800. In fact, I got an outfit yesterday night, so I'm up to 1900 stats as this guy. Golfstar.Dan at the moment. So before I go, I'll just have a quick look at the placings for the week. Might be a good time just to have a look at how all that works. I won't take too long on it. I was very aware of the video I did yesterday. I didn't realise at the time it was 40 odd minutes. I'm sure a lot of you fell asleep before I got to the end, what with my hypnotic tones and all. But this one's nearly over, you'll be pleased to hear. Okay, so we can see there, it won't recalculate unless you come out. So if I come out of here, go back in, and if it's going to load, there we go. Have a look at the ranking. So 872, 4 tickets to spare. I only had 32 tickets because I started off the week in World Pro B. That gives you 32. You can get up to 40 tickets, I think, if you're in Master Pro A, which obviously gives you a much more chance of accruing points and getting wins. This is the leaderboard as it stands at the moment. I'm in no danger of trouble in it, but solid enough win, solid enough week. Sorry for my stats. Fairly happy with that. This will reset and go back to 0 overnight, and another week begins. It goes on and on. Thanks very much for watching. I'll try and do another one soon. Again, I've still got a mind to do a kind of trick shots, fun shots video, which will be coming up hopefully fairly soon. Again, please share, comment on the video if you've enjoyed it, and I'll be interested to see what you have to say. Thank you.